We used to go to a little sidewalk. I'm going to say it was almost like, it wasn't really a restaurant, it was like a closet. It was a little doorway when I was living in Aix-en-Provence, when I was there for school. And we'd go there for lunch, and they served omelets on fresh baguettes, cut in half, and these beautiful omelets. The bread was buttered, and that was, wrapped with a little napkin, and they'd hand it out the window to you, and it was just sacre bleu. It was wonderful. Just so good.
Sacre bleu.
But the bread was, they pulled it out of the back, right? Freshly cooked or baked. It was wonderful.
In Toronto, there is this place called Bonjour Brioche.
Mm-hmm.
So you can imagine what that was like. You would walk in the door, and it was like a cloud of butter descending on you. It was amazing.
Wonderful.
Oh, my God. Yeah, I don't know if it's still there, but...
What is brioche?
It's a kind of bread.
Yeah.
It's a sweeter bread, I think, isn't it, Bailey? Yeah.
It's a little more fleshy almost. I don't know.
So the shop was Hello Bread?
Yeah.
Hello. No,
good.
Hello Brioche.
Bonjour. It's like that. Is it Progressive commercial? With the people who are becoming their parents, homeowners who have become their parents. Like that elevator one. I think that's me.
That's the new one. I love that.
Freaking me. Like I would go, bonjour.
Anybody here from out of town?
I would do that. Oh my God. And the newest one I've seen is the one with the garbage cans. And he's like you can
he's washing them.
Guy's like, you can never be too careful. And he goes, with trash? Those are,
and the wife's in the back, like with this look of horror on her face.
Those are the best ads, I swear, of the last 30
clever.
years. So funny.
Yeah, let's retire Flo, shall we?
Yeah.
Oh
I think they're trying to. I think that's why. My guess, right, is, it's not like I'm some kind of advertising genius, but I'm sure they're testing out all those people to see if anyone resonates.
Right.
And maybe they just haven't yet. I don't know. Or maybe she's got an ironclad contract.
Mm-hmm. Or maybe they've done some focus groups and said, should we keep Flo? And everyone goes, yes. Flo makes me feel comfortable.
She's got so much pancake makeup on now.
I know, she's awful. Her hair is all dyed every which way to Monday.
How did we get on that topic? Anyway.
I like how whatever French word comes up, BAYLIE pronounces it correctly.
Of course, she has to.
as opposed to every other time you hear it.
I do, I have to.
How many languages do you speak, BAYLIE?
I speak 3, but none of them very well. So
Really?
Spanish, French, and English.
It's like conversational French, though, isn't it? You could.
I haven't spoken it in so long that I would really have to be sitting, in a cafe in France to really pick it up again. It, like every day. It takes a lot. And people speak so quickly that it's, that's the hard part.
That's the killer.
And then you get accents, you get dialects, you get, depending on what part of the country you're in,
I feel like when I was doing Duolingo before we went to Spain, I feel like the accent was very difficult because I either know like the Italian accent pretty well from grandparents and such, or I know French, right? And so I'd either be putting the stress on the wrong syllable, or I feel like it was slightly off. But I started my Spanish class on Wednesday. I'm taking an actual Spanish class.
Good for you.
What a nightmare that was. Oh my God, to register for it. And it was, I was ready to give up, but it's for... What happened ultimately is I was trying to take a basic Spanish class, right? And then the one I registered, an undergraduate class, turned out to be 5 days a week on the other campus. And I was like, well, I can't do that. Mm-hmm. So then they recommended this graduate course. So it's Spanish for healthcare professionals, which I guess you're going to get like the basic conjugation and stuff, but then I'll, learn how to say like...
That's not poop.
Yeah, like, are you constipated? I'll be able to say something like that.
Right. What are your symptoms?
Yeah.
Right?
Where does it hurt?
Hold still.
Yeah.
That's funny. I took American Sign Language class once,
Oh.
which was really fascinating. And really, but it, like any language, it was really daunting at first. There's so much, but it's really, Rochester is such a mecca for the deaf community. So it was fun. And I'd like to actually do it some more, but it's a lot.
So are you conversational, Grace?
In Spanish?
In Spanish?
No. I mean,
Yeah.
if you mean by conversational that I could have a conversation with someone, no, I could say a sentence to get something. But if they say anything back, forget it.
Right. ¿Dónde está el autobús?
El baño. Yeah, that's about it,
El baño.
Right.
But you do pick up. I feel like the reason I wanted a really basic class was Duolingo. I think we talked about this, and I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself. I want to learn something from the ground up, right? Like I did French.
Yeah, Spanish 101.
Yeah, and I think that will be helpful for me because I remember a lot of the vocabulary, like how to say skirt and how to say fish burger, and but I want to really get down the conjugations of the really important verbs and like BAYLIE, maybe you know this, the use of the word en versus like that was really confusing to me in Duolingo. I just couldn't get it, and that was always a guess when they had the quizzes. Whereas in French it's very obvious. In Duolingo there is this section you can skip it if you want on idioms, and I did look at them like no way could I even hope to get this. So I just skipped that.
I think I told you, and I'm probably repeating myself as well, when I went to Rome with my mother and Rachel, and we shopped at a little market down the street, and I had tried to study up a little Italian beforehand just so I could, I didn't think that everyone spoke English, right? And I'm checking out, and I'm trying all my Italian out, and the woman's like, "Yeah, right." She just kept talking to me in English. So, yeah, that's what you get for trying. It was crushed.
Well, they are snobby in Italy.
Yes, they are.
I found. Hey, did you know this? A little known fact is that a chili pepper hot sauce contains more vitamin C than an orange and more vitamin A than a carrot. However, wouldn't you guess that you have to eat like as much as a carrot to get that? And who's going to do that?
Who's going to eat an entire chili pepper like that? Yeah.
A chili pepper hot sauce.
Oh, chili. Oh, sorry.
So, wouldn't you have to drink a bottle of it to get that? I mean.
Well, you spread it on the carrot.
That's great.
And you get double.
And then you deep fry it.
Right.
Yes. Deep fried carrots. I can't believe that that's not a thing. It probably is.
I'll just go to any state fair, in like
Did
Iowa.
you guys did you ever try the deep fried butter?
No.
That's that. How do you? Well, it must be flash fried, right? Like, how else could you do that? What would you?
Right, because it would melt immediately.
Maybe they freeze it.
Ah.
Oh, maybe.
No, my arteries harden just thinking about it.
I just can't imagine that. I don't know.
But you are trying. You are trying hard to imagine it.
Yeah, I am trying. But no, you said your arteries harden. I'm getting this feeling like right here.
Maybe dipped in sugar. Maybe with sprinkles.
Jeez Louise.
I was going to suggest a new rule for the podcast.
Yeah.
Words that you can't use.
Uh-oh.
You can't say awesome. You can't say like, kinda, sorta. You can't start a sentence with so. You can't say basically. You can't say and stuff or I mean, incredible. Me personally.
I think I say and stuff a lot.
I was just going to make a big list, and that's all I got to. But I thought, but if I say that at the beginning of a podcast, then everyone will be completely tongue-tied.
My friend who listened to the podcast, her one thing she thought was amazing and awesome was that no one said like. So maybe you think we say it. Well, you do the editing, so maybe you just cut them all out.
No, I don't.
Yeah, she was impressed that no one said like all that much.
I feel, and I think I'm using like correctly in this instance. I feel like for me, overusing like would be when I'm a little nervous.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Which I'm not when we're here. Or when I was younger too, of course. How about the word yeah? Can I say yeah? I was watching a show the other night from New Zealand or Australia. I think it was New Zealand. And maybe this is true, how people talk in New Zealand. It was a vet show, an emergency vet show. And I almost had to turn it off because every sentence was an up sentence at the end.
Right.
I was like, right. I don't think I can listen to this anymore. See, I just said like.
I wondered if the Valley Girl thing came from Australia or something at one point.
Like, oh my God.
Graduate students, it's infamous up talk.
Is it? Why?
Well, I don't know. Like in See, I did say just like, woo. In graduate departments, I remember in grad school, that was a discussion that I don't remember what the reason was, but uptalk was a very common thing. And maybe it's just an age thing.
Hmm. Well, I think we may, or at least I am, but you may be just on the cusp of where like is not part of your deal. But I listen to podcasts where 30-year-olds, man, if you took like out, it would be 40% shorter.
And then when I see interviews with people, maybe athletes or people from other countries who are speaking English, and they drop like all the time. So they're just hanging around with Americans, and that's where they pick it up.
But some of those things just really bug me now. I can't, I can hardly listen to them.
I'm always jumping on my kids about it. They don't like me for that, but
they do it all the time.
Well, they've gotten better. Rachel used to use it all the time, but she's gotten better because I think she realizes that she's using it too much. And maybe because they sit on their phones all the time and they don't sit and have conversations like we're having right now. Right. They don't hang out and sit and chat a lot. They'll sit on their phones and text. So the art of conversation is suffering.
Do they text like?
No, it's just a conversational thing.
Is there a like emoji?
Maybe we should invent a like emoji.
It's as if they don't want to make a direct statement. It's a way to avoid, I think there were like 100 people there. Mm-hmm. Well, you could just say 100 people.
Or just say, I think there were about 100 people.
As many as 100.
Right. It gives you an out, so you don't commit to any specific.
I guess I never really thought of that. What does like represent in a conversation when people use it like that?
Right. And kind of like.
I find that very annoying, kind of, sort of. You read that in quotations all the time, even. Among people who are educated. I know that I have to read a lot of interviews with experts in public health or nutrition or whatnot, and you still see that. In my PR life, there were a few times when I had to be the spokesperson, and you really have to watch that because it makes you sound really stupid.
It takes away the responsibility.
Or like you don't know what you're talking about, right?
Yeah, maybe.
If anybody wants to question you on that, well, you didn't say exactly.
The thing that really bothers me a lot now is so.
So at the beginning of a sentence?
Yes. That really bothers me a lot.
Remember when Terry Gross got hammered on that?
No.
Terry Gross from Fresh Air?
No, I didn't know that.
Oh, because she starts every single question with, so you were stuck at the bottom of a well. And someone finally just said, Terry, cut it. Because she was getting publicly mocked for saying so at the beginning of every interview question.
At work, we have this dean's office meeting or whatever, and I think there's 20 people. And I swear to God, if 10 people talk, 10 of them start their whatever they're saying with so.
Now, where does that come from? What does that mean?
Well, again, it's a placeholder.
Yeah.
It's the same as saying,
instead of saying well
or
why wouldn't you say well?
Yeah, it's you're formulating your thoughts or what you're going to say. So I guess I would give him
right.
It's a thought.
Yeah.
With a little
comma or something. I don't know what you would call it.
But to me, it sounds like, how do I put this? It's you're not smart enough to really understand my answer.
Right.
So I'm going to put it in these terms. There's sometimes that attitude to it. How many insects are there? So you probably can't really conceive of it the way I can. But
like Kunk on Earth.
Yeah, exactly. Every line on that is amazing. The writing on that is extraordinary.
Right.
When she says to the guy, I feel like everything I say has some what's the word I'm looking for? Ribald.
Ribald.
She says to the guy she's talking about the space race with him, I think, and she says, and then the Soviets sent up the satellite Spunk. He's like, well, the Soviets sent up a satellite called Sputnik, and she said it wasn't Spunk.
How do you think they do those interviews? I mean, I've really been puzzled about this.
Well, I looked that up. I guess with the Ali G show, you remember that?
Right.
a lot of those people were not in on the joke.
Right.
But the thing is, she's been doing this. She's been doing this character for about 10 years, I read.
Oh, okay.
And she had a series called Cunk on Britain.
She did one on Shakespeare, too.
Did she?
Yeah.
So I feel as though these people know. But maybe not all of them do.
But the thing about that is that, when people catch on to something like that, they try to become actors.
Yeah, none of those people do.
Yeah, they don't even give it a shot. So I'm thinking that somebody comes in like from the BBC or whoever's doing this, and these people the academics are used to being interviewed, and they want to make a good impression. And so they say to her, she's a little bit odd, but don't worry about that. And then those people really try hard to give a serious answer, no matter what she says.
I would imagine maybe some of that is true. With some they do know and some they don't, maybe.
And if you notice, the interviews don't go on beyond 2 or 3 questions. And I think then they probably catch on. It's hilarious.
I have a confession. I watched it the other night, and I really didn't like it.
Oh, really?
Oh, no. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I need to watch more, but...
I would say I feel like the first one is not the best.
Oh, okay. I just felt like she was trying way too hard, and a lot of it was just kind of contrived, and I didn't find it that funny.
It's very British.
So maybe I'll try again.
So we're going to have to cut this short now.
Yeah.
So
because I'm like a goner.
Yeah, I keep feeling like I want to write down some of those things because they're just so funny. And then when Pump Up the Jam comes up, I just love that.
So you're wrong about this, Bailey. I'm just kind of going ahead and saying, like, maybe you're wrong.
I'm gonna have to tell you.
I mean, I'm not allowed to have an opinion. I may have to watch it again.
Yes.
Sometimes, like you said, Grace,
Yes.
there's a lot of things you watch it the first time and you, And people talk things up so much and you're like, ooh, the anticipation. And then you sit there and say, that's like not that great. Yeah.
I feel like it's the Marx Brothers where you can't laugh or you're going to miss something. That's how I feel about it.
She was talking about the Titanic, and she called it the Titan 1C. And she said that the Titan 1C was the first single-use submarine.
Wow. That's just
I don't remember that. I liked when she said the period of time called the darkages.
So is she well, explain this to me. Is she trying to be stupid? Is she trying to be, what's her shtick?
She's trying to be the BBC documentary.
Right.
Done absurdly.
All right.
And it is scripted, but it is mostly scripted.
Yeah. Right.
I just think it's very, very funny.
All right, I'll give it another shot.
Give it another shot.
Yeah. Dairy Girls, which I found hysterical. The first episode I gave up, and then friends of mine said, no, watch the whole thing. And
yeah, I had the same. The first episode felt like it was too much going on, and but then after that, I got it. I guess you get to know the people.
Right.
I think that's part of it too. Yeah.
But I could see how you could look at that and go like,
Yeah.
Kunk again? Like, why did she say darkages? That's silly to me. It's not even funny because we know it's dark ages. I mean, if you're reading it, but she comes across as that's not her shtick. I mean, when I'm trying to explain it. See, I'm not very articulate sometimes. She looks like a smart person.
I think it's a spoof on many, many things in a way. It's a spoof.
Right.
It's a spoof on documentaries. It's a spoof on the way the presenters act. It's a spoof on the way the experts talk. It's a spoof on wide angle shots from 500 feet away. I feel like it's a spoof on many, many things. Taken to the nth degree in a way.
All right. So I need to watch it again.
did you see her on Afterlife?
No, I didn't watch all the seasons of that.
Yeah, she was in the newspaper. On the newspaper, she was the art director or something.
Oh,
okay. No, all right.
Oh, I'll have to check that out. I feel like I haven't seen that before. And speaking of, I think I use the phrase "I feel like" a lot. So why don't you add that to your list, Walt?
Okay. Well, see, now we're going to be constipated. We won't be able to talk if you keep all those rules in mind.
Hey, you're the one who brought it up.
And how many times has he said like since he brought it up, too? Have you noticed that?
50, 60.
A lot.
I just noticed the time. I actually am getting picked up for a little activity today.
What are you doing, Grace?
Oh, just lunch and a movie.
Nice.
Yeah.
What movie?
Women talking.
Oh, let me know. I've tried to
I
get a
will.
couple people to see it, and they're like, "Oh, it looks so depressing." So I kind of want to. I really want to see it, though.
I want to, A, because we're doing it in our book club this month.
Okay.
And B, because there's so many good actors
I know.
in it.
I know. That's why I want to see it.
And I also like Sarah Polley, too, the director. I think I'm going to read the book anyway. Many times I felt like the book was better than the movie. And
Yeah,
so
for
in
sure.
this case, it'll maybe be good to do it the reverse.
Mm-hmm.
You felt like the book was.
I felt that the book was better than the movie. So
Is it?
Or is it? I felt the book was better than the movie.
I felt the book was better than the movie. There's a lot of different constructions that you
But
could use.
if you're feeling, that means you don't really have. You can get out of that opinion.
Well, I believe that the reason I say I feel like a lot, and I just said I believe, which is the same thing.
Right. Right.
Throughout my life, many people have said to me, "You're so opinionated. You know, you're so opinionated that it intimidates people." Blah 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 blah. So I think that
You can't say the book is better than the movie.
yeah, I think I started saying that to couch my opinions in something that was more palatable to other people.
There you go. Well said.
How did you used to say things, Grace?
I would just say it like, yeah, I'm sure the book's going to be better than the movie. Or not even, I'm sure the book is going to be better than the movie. Or if someone would say they liked some music, oh, that sucks. You know, and now I would say, I'm not a fan of that, you know.
I'd say the book is better than the movie, bitch.
I should just start saying that.
Yeah, we need a kicker. It's nice when the music comes in at the end and everybody's laughing.
Okay, why don't we say 1, 2, 3, and everyone will laugh. Ready? 1, 2, 3. How's that?
Oh, that was a
that
good one.
I can do a wicked witch of the West laugh if you would like me to.
Yeah, do that.
You want me to do it?
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah. What was that?
Something.
That was a little scary.
Just keep it busy. That's all.
There's something in my eye.
Would you like to do this again in a couple of weeks, or?
Sure. You sound like you're asking us for a date.
I know. Would you like to do this again?
So, can I see you again, sort of?
How do you think this went?
So, can I kind of see you again?
That's like see you.